Welcome to the family with
Andy Brant Bernard.
and me.
And
Alex
you.
isn't here. Mom's not here. Mom's at the doctor, and Alex. I don't know if they may be arranging Dick's funeral. Do you think that's what this might be?
Oh, have we announced that?
That he died?
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple of days ago.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if that
Well,
was public knowledge or not.
yeah, it was such a period because you were in the hospital, and then Dick died while
It's
you were
been
in the
such a
hospital.
period, all right.
It really has been weighed heavily on you because
Mm-hmm.
Dick was such a nice guy. Dick Rasmussen, Doctor Dick, Doctor Rasmussen. Dan, who is Alex's husband, his father. It's really, obviously we're not going to all live forever. There's no question about it. But it always just, boy, to lose somebody. I mean, I've been honest about this. Losing my mother was very, very tough. I knew my father was going to die young, so that was not a surprise to me at all. That he died at 60 years old. He did not live a healthy life mentally or physically. I mean, he was not a very big guy. He was about 5'6", probably weighed about 130 pounds total.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another big part of it. But yeah, it's just been a hell of a period where this person and we thought you'd only be in the hospital for a day or two. And well, I tell you what? Why don't you step up? Because I know a lot of people have been asking me about it on the street, and they've been asking me about this, and I know they've reached out to you. So
On the street.
yeah, I mean, people come up to me, and there are a lot of people down here from Minnesota.
That is true. There are.
Indeed. Well, particularly over on
Nowhere
the
better
West
to
Coast. But
retire.
I guess that's exactly what it is. But so what? So you've had a lot of people reach out to you. Is that correct?
Yeah, people just have been asking on social media largely because that's where we've been keeping people updated.
All right. Why don't you kind of take over here and go to social media, and because that way you can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Right. Well, basically, so I had my thyroid out last Monday, so that would be the 13th. And of course, I was gone that week because, I had an organ removed, and you tend to skip work for a little while after that happens.
Sure.
And then on Friday, Melissa noticed that my neck was a lot more swollen than we had been anticipating. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I'll just go in. And I saw a doctor. She said, hey, as long as it doesn't get any worse than this, you're fine. Just go home, keep icing and so forth. Saturday, I woke up. It had gotten worse.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, I'm just going to have to go into the doctor and get it drained. But no, because it was a Saturday, I had to go into the ER, of course, sit there for half an hour, get back in there.
Right.
And then they're like, okay, so yeah, we're going to drain this. So we're going to get you up to the third floor, prep for surgery. And I'm like, surgery? And like, yeah, you're going under general anesthesia and everything. It's surgery time. And I'm like,
God.
oh, I was really not anticipating this. I was expecting them to take a syringe or something and just drain the fluid out.
Right.
No, I had to be put back under. They opened me back up. They rooted around in there. Apparently there was a hematoma, which is basically like a collection of blood underneath one of the muscles that was
Oh
pressing
yeah.
on things. So they go in there and suck that out and install a drain, a tube that went from inside of my neck down beneath my collarbone and came out at my skin. I have a Band-Aid right here. If you're watching the video, let's see, can you even see? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
right
You
here.
can see that.
Here's my Band-Aid.
There you go.
That's where the drain came out. And I had that in for a couple days, and I had that removed yesterday, which is very nice because having a plastic tube underneath your skin doesn't feel great.
Well, when they pull that out, what does that feel like?
It, I can't really describe it like anything I've felt before because, I mean, it doesn't hurt, but I mean, it does feel like something is being pulled out of your neck through your skin, which, isn't something that you normally experience in a
No,
day-to-day life
that's
kind
very
of
true.
situation. I was expecting it to hurt a lot more than it did, but no, it just kind of felt like this weird choking, not great, but it lasted 2 seconds. So, hey, could have been
So,
worse.
okay, so where are we today now?
Today, so one of the reasons I've been having all these issues is because one of the things that can happen when you get your thyroid out is your calcium levels get messed up. Like half of people end up with bad calcium for a little bit. And calcium is important for nerve conduction. and your nerves basically make everything in your whole body work. So if you don't have good calcium, all sorts of things can happen. And he thinks that that's the reason all this swelling and stuff happened, was my nerves aren't working, therefore I'm not healing well, therefore bad stuff. So at this point, we're basically just taking calcium supplements and checking my calcium. And once it gets better, I'm good to go.
So that's it. So you feel good. I mean, did you ever, because you didn't feel very good for about a week, did you?
I mean, no, it was pretty, and it got worse and worse as the week went on because
Oh,
of all the
really?
swelling and everything.
I suppose.
Yeah, I was feeling pretty bad, and yeah, I would like my face would go numb, legs would go numb, that sort of thing. That's a calcium thing.
So you're good to go now. Everything's clear. No more
I think
cancer.
so.
No more anything.
We got calcium levels checked again yesterday, but they haven't come in yet. We'll see how that is. But I mean, I feel a lot better in that regard, so I'm sure they've gone up at least a little. As far as cancer goes, in about, I think, a month, they're going to do some stuff. They're going to want to do some scans, make sure it's all gone. But he
Oh
says
yeah.
he's pretty confident that it's all gone because there was none of it in my lymph nodes, which is most of the time where it first spreads. It'll go to your lymph nodes and then it'll go somewhere else.
So that's pretty serious then.
In this case, actually not that serious, no,
Oh, okay,
because of the
good.
type of cancer. I mean, normally if a cancer has gotten, so the classical staging is, it's local, and then it gets into a nearby lymph node, and then a distant lymph node, and then a distant organ. And generally, if it gets into a distant lymph node, or especially a distant organ, that's very bad.
Yeah.
Even very treatable cancers like melanoma, once melanoma metastasizes to a distant organ, it's basically like you have very little chance of survival.
Really.
But with thyroid cancer, he said that even if it has metastasized, it's still not that big of a deal because it grows so slowly and it's so easily treatable because of this. The unique way thyroid tissue works is your thyroid is where all the iodine in your body goes. So when you eat iodine, it goes to your thyroid.
Mm-hmm.
So what they do is they basically give you iodine that has radioactive isotopes in it. Well, it is a radioactive isotope of iodine, but so they'll give you this iodine. It goes into your thyroid, and because it's radioactive, it kills the thyroid. So even if there's metastatic tissue somewhere else, all they have to do is put that in me, and then it'll go to wherever the thyroid tissue is, and it'll kill it, and good to go.
So that's it.
Yeah. So I mean, barring some sort of extreme, unforeseen circumstance, I still got a whole lot of doctor's appointments and treatments ahead of me, but it's the worst of it's over. Although the radioactive iodine, I do have to quarantine for 2 to 5 days, so that'll be interesting.
So we're gonna have somebody fill in for you that period.
Well, I could do this because I'm in a room by myself.
Oh,
It's like
that's
I'm
true.
just not allowed to sleep in the same bed as Melissa, especially since she's pregnant.
Oh
They
yeah.
don't want me to
Yeah.
be radioactive near a baby or a
That
father.
wouldn't be good. Yes, you're
Because
absolutely right.
you are radioactive enough that if you want to get on a bus, you have to tell someone. Because
Really?
cities and especially things
Jesus.
like airports, they have radiation sensors to make sure people don't smuggle, plutonium around.
Oh,
And
that's
in
a
this
good
case, if you
idea.
try to get on a plane without telling someone, you'll set the detectors off and they'll think you're carrying radioactive material with you.
Oh God.
So if you're that radioactive, maybe stay away from babies and children.
Yes, that's a good plan. So you just have to stay away from Ethan for how long? 5 days?
Up to 5 days, 2 to 5 days, depending.
All
I
right.
mean, that's if they want me to do that treatment. The surgeon said they probably will just to be safe, but I don't know. We'll see.
No, I will tell you this, from my perspective of this, and obviously it didn't turn out to be. I mean, it was serious because it was really cancer, but it was, thank God, caught very early, so the danger level went way down there. But it is a weird experience to have your son or daughter tell you they have cancer.
Yeah.
It's something you just never think you're going to hear. Maybe your kid hears that you've got cancer, but not your kid tells you that he has cancer. So it's a hell of a struggle to get through. And look, it was not as serious. There are some people that lose their children to cancer, and I'm not comparing myself to them in any way, shape, or form. But it's very shocking to hear somebody in their 30s going through that. Well, I shouldn't say shocking because I guess it's becoming more and more prevalent from what I understand that cancer is getting to all age levels.
Well, thyroid cancer is one of those things that's been around for a long time in
Yeah.
younger people. It's not like, there's certain cancers where you expect to see it in the very young. Like when I was
Oh,
a kid, it
yeah,
was always
sure.
like, the kid at the other school has leukemia. Leukemia is one of those
Right,
things where it's like,
right.
you get it when you're super duper young for some reason. Thyroid is all over the place, but it's more young than you would think. There's a lot of people in their 20s and 30s who end up getting it.
Really? See, I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
It's one of those things where it's like they don't know if anything causes it. It just kind of happens. It's just complete random chance.
It's just anybody. It could have happened to any of us.
Yep. Any day you could just all of a sudden have it because it's not like, most cancers, you think, it's like, okay, it's because of obesity or smoking or drinking or
Yeah, yeah.
one of any million things that you can do, or, you fly too much and you get too much radiation, you end up getting that. But yeah, no, it's just because of the way your thyroid works, sometimes it just craps out and that's that.
I got to run this by you quickly because you just popped this into my head. Kathryn and I live on the 16th floor of a building, and we have a very large balcony, like a really large balcony, right?
Yes, you do.
You take all the plants and move them into the corner. You take all the furniture off because we're leaving tomorrow. So you take the furniture off and put it in the house or the apartment or condo or whatever the hell you want to call it. I found more cigarette butts on our balcony because there are 6 floors above us.
Mm,
I have never seen so many cigarette butts on our balcony as I did after clearing away the furniture this year. Because I suppose what they do is they flick it and try to get it to clear, and it doesn't clear our balcony. But you
well,
don't want
no,
to
it's so
flick your
windy up
cigarette butt
there.
anyway, do you?
Well,
I
you
mean, you
wouldn't
don't want to
think.
just flick your cigarette off a building.
That's, yeah, pretty gross.
But yeah, I saw a lot of cigarette butts, and I just, are people, have you heard, are people beginning to smoke again? Because I haven't seen anybody smoking a cigarette in a long time.
No, I don't think so. I think it's going down. If anything, they're vaping, and you're not going to flick one of those off a balcony.
I wouldn't think so, but maybe it's a possibility that just that a certain age group in this building,
Yeah.
I don't know, but that you'd think I would have, because 5 years ago when we moved in here, we found a few cigarette butts on the balcony.
Yeah, it's probably just some older smoker who doesn't give a crap anymore.
I guess that that's probably what it is, no question about it. But
You think like just put it in like a, I don't know, glass or something, or get an
like an
ashtray.
ashtray, that'd be good. How about an empty beer can? Why don't you put it
And
in
that's
there?
a lot of people do that. That's for sure.
Yeah, there's no question about it. I don't know what this means. New Minnesota law will require salary ranges in job postings. So, in other words, when you post a job, where do you just post jobs on the internet now? There are no, I mean, there are still newspapers, but if you put a job posting in a newspaper, nobody's going to respond to it, are they?
Yeah, it's going to be like on Indeed or Monster or whatever.
Yeah, one of those deals.
There's a lot of those.
It says ranges in all kinds of job postings should be in good faith to increase pay equity. So you have to post how much the job is going to pay now.
Well, you should have to, I think. This is one of
Yeah,
those
well,
things
yeah,
I
no
agree
problem.
with. I mean, you shouldn't be allowed to just say like, I'll tell you the pay once you've gotten the job, because that's,
Yeah.
and a lot of people do that.
Oh, they'll tell you how much it costs once you apply for the job, or how
Yep,
much
you
we
don't.
pay. I mean,
Yep, you don't. Well, that's the thing is like they'll tell you what the pay is because the more qualified you are or whatever, the more they'll pay you.
hmm
But I mean, technically, the position's the position. Your qualification shouldn't really. If you're qualified, you're qualified. It's like if I
yeah,
want to go, work at McDonald's and I'm an astrophysicist, should they pay me extra money because I have an astrophysics degree? It's not going to help me, make hamburgers any better.
no, that's very true. But we've been talking about this quite a bit, and it's not just Republicans, it's not just Democrats, it's everybody. Everything they do is all about money. It's just about money.
Hmm.
And they're not trying to make the government better, worse, whatever. They're just trying to make a lot of money for themselves. These, if you don't think that's true in today's world, that everything is about money, here are the top 3 stories in the Star Tribune this morning. Okay. We just talked about this. New Minnesota law will require salary ranges in job postings. In other words, the money is the most important part of that story,
Hmm.
right?
Well, I
Right?
mean, it's why you get a job, so it makes sense.
Indeed. Second story, Target faces Target sales down amid fierce competition from rivals. Once again, they're not making as much money. Sales are down. Why? Because the competitors are offering them some fierce competition. So once again, there's a big, fierce competition
Mm-hmm.
for your dollars going into Target, or what are the other stores that compare to Target? I don't even know.
Walmart would be the big one, I would assume.
Yeah, Walmart, and then how about the Costco? I
Costco's
suppose.
probably, I don't know how much overlap there is there. Probably at least some.
Okay, and then the third lead story in the Star Tribune this morning: fast food prices have skyrocketed. Here's a look at how much they've climbed. So even stories about McDonald's and Burger King are about the money, not about the food. I mean,
Well, that makes
everything
sense.
is about money right now.
Yep.
What are we going to do about this? I mean, honest to God, somebody told me that they. Is this true, by the way? Because there was a story out there now that uh, like a burger, fries, and a Coke at McDonald's is now like $15.
I'm sure it depends on where, but I
Well, yeah, that's
wouldn't
true.
doubt it at all.
$15?
I mean, let's
He's
see if I
looking up.
can.
Well, while you're looking it up, I'll say this.
Let's order McDonald's online. Here we go.
Yeah, let's get it going.
McDonald's via Uber Eats. If you ever do that, you got to rethink some things, I think.
I do. The Clock was the name of a fast food place right across from North High School on West Broadway. The Clock was it was pre-McDonald's is what it was. Or maybe at the same time McDonald's. We didn't have a McDonald's in our neighborhood at that time. There are there now, but they weren't then. Their burgers were 19 cents. 19 cents. How much is a burger at McDonald's now? Just a regular burger.
Let's see. Most popular. Oh, is it still It's still breakfast hours. Do they even sell the burgers during breakfast hours?
I don't know. That's an interesting question.
I don't. Oh, here we go. You can switch it to the lunch menu. There we go. Good old McCrispy menu. Double cheeseburger by itself is $5.
Well, that's not bad. A double cheeseburger.
Well,
Although
but
it's not 19 cents. Like, or those things I think used to be like 49 cents.
but a McDonald's double cheeseburger is like, it's not huge. It is a decent amount of calories, but it's not like a filling meal or anything. So I mean, let's see. What's medium French fries? A medium French fries is another $4.79.
Okay, so now you're at $10
That's
already.
$10 for a cheeseburger and some fries. You add a Coke in, and there you go. You're probably at about $15.
You think the Coke is $5?
Well, with tax and everything, absolutely.
Well, that's true. Yeah, you're
This
right.
is
With
all-
taxes,
This is pre-tax.
it would be $15 for double cheeseburger, fries, and a Coke. $15.
Yeah, there you go. A medium Coke is $2. So, yeah,
And then you get the tax in there, and it's $15. You're right.
$15.39 for a double quarter pounder meal. So it's a double quarter pounder with cheese, some size of fries, and a Coke.
And that's before taxes.
That is before taxes.
God,
Yep.
things have gotten a little expensive. There's no question about that.
It's like, why would you pay $15 for McDonald's? Because like
and
Culver's
whatever-
is more expensive, yes,
Oh,
but
is
it's
it?
not that much more expensive, and it is significant. Like the reason to get McDonald's when I was a kid was because you can get it for like $2.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like paying very much, and I don't really care what I eat right now, so let's just go to McDonald's and save the money. But for $15, it's just not worth it because it's not good enough to be worth $15. Let's see. Does
I
Uber Eats have
understand.
Culver's? Let's see. We go to Culver's relatively often.
Yeah, I like Culver's. I don't go to fast food places much, and it's not on purpose. I just don't end up going there. I don't know why that. I used to go to eat fast food all the time, but I haven't eaten fast food. I can't even tell you the last time I did. It's been years.
Only place we go is Culver's ever. See, Culver's deluxe value. Well, deluxe is like a little more than a
Little hoity-toity.
Yeah, here we go. Butterburger cheese value basket dealy thingy. Double with cheese. You got your fries, etc., etc. All right. It's going to take a couple seconds.
Seconds we
to
got.
put
Not a
this
problem.
together.
People
All
probably
right.
appreciate it if we shut up for a couple seconds anyway.
Fountain drink. That's right. Sure. Medium Coke. Why not? We are looking at $13.58.
So it's less than McDonald's.
It's less than McDonald's for
That surprises
better
me.
food. That is
That does
interesting.
surprise me.
That's very surprising. Huh.
So
Can that really
buck
be
50
right?
cheaper.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I guess there's no reason to ever go to McDonald's ever again.
Oh, that's real. I guess they won't be advertising on the show anytime soon.
Probably not.
You know, the interesting thing about that is, and we'll get off the subject, I promise here, but you take Culver's, Burger King, and McDonald's, they're completely different, the three of them. I mean, they're fine by themselves, and if you have a favorite, you have a favorite. I understand that. But they do taste like if you bit into a hamburger, you would know if it came from McDonald's, Burger King,
100%.
or Culver's. You
Yep.
would.
Absolutely.
We should probably do that on the show someday. Bring in three burgers.
Mm,
You can't hear where they're from until you bite into them. You have to guess where it came from.
I'd absolutely know right away. Even
Well,
though
see,
I mean, I still remember the distinct taste of a McDonald's hamburger, even though I haven't had one in 15 years, because there's just like something very unique about them. I don't know what it is.
yeah. I mean, it is really good. There's no question about that. But you know what the hell?
I like their McNuggets.
Oh,
Taste.
McNuggets are very good.
I'll still eat a McNugget.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. That's one thing. Oh, you know, and by the way, I asked the morning show listeners this, and they came up with some great ideas. I don't want to ask the family show listeners. Kathryn and I are hitting the road after this show tomorrow. When the family show is over tomorrow, we're hitting the road and driving for nearly 30 hours to get back home,
Yep.
which is going to be interesting. But I need, because I am on an eating program, the Livia eating program, I don't want to be gaining weight because I'm, sitting in a car for 9, 10 hours a day for 3 days. I got my breakfast and my lunch are taken care of because I got bars and things like that from Livia, which is great. But I just want to find some meal. We're going to eventually probably for dinner every night, so that'd be Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. We'd probably end up going to a restaurant. So I just don't want to order something that's full of sugar, full of salt, full of fat. So I'm looking for maybe things I can pick up at a supermarket because they got pre-made meals in supermarkets now. I'm trying to find healthy things to eat, but a lot of times, hey, this is a healthy alternative. Then you find out it's got 85 pounds of lard in it or something, you know?
Yeah. Here's what you can do. You can order a USB powered grill from Amazon and grill in your
That's
car.
it.
Yep.
Just,
Plug it
I
into your
can just
dashboard, and there you go.
pull into a park and just grill it up myself. Is that what you're saying?
$30 electric indoor smokeless grill. There you go.
Actually thinking about that. But I see that the problem is, even if we did, let's say, grill up a couple of turkey burgers because they're very healthy and all the rest of it. But I don't think mom's going to want to sit in the car to eat dinner. If she's going to be eating breakfast and lunch in the car, she's not going to want to eat dinner in the car too.
See, I got no problem eating in the car,
I don't either, but I don't think your mom's going to want to do that.
I suppose.
So I don't know. Maybe I'll ask her. But why don't we just, for the first day, why don't we just grill up some turkey burgers? We'll, make sandwiches out of those, and because there's bread now that doesn't have very many calories in it at all. You can find that
Mhm.
really. I mean, it's not the greatest bread in the world, but with a turkey burger in it, who cares? The turkey burger's great.
Yeah, that's what Melissa's family does. They have this like low or zero carb bread that they use.
Oh,
They
there's
seem to
zero
like it
carb
well
bread?
enough. I don't know if it's zero, but I think it might be like 1 gram a slice or something.
Yeah, so that's
Functionally
good.
zero.
And how many calories? Probably only about 50 calories or something,
I
or
don't think it's
40.
many. Melissa and I don't eat it, but
I got to find out what it is.
yeah, I can find out from them. They've been
Yeah,
eating the
find out.
same thing for years, so they found the good one.
See, that's exactly what I want to do. Because actually, to tell you the truth, if we did that, if we found a low calorie bread, made some turkey burgers with that, brought them along, and just maybe pulled over at a park somewhere and sat at a picnic bench and had dinner tomorrow night, then we actually, if we leave early enough on Saturday morning, because we'll be right outside of Chicago, if we leave early enough, that's only, what, about a 7 hour drive, something like that, from Chicago to
Yeah, that's
Minneapolis.
probably about right.
So yeah, let's say we left at 9 o'clock in the morning, we'd be home by dinner. We'd be, back near 169 and 62 by dinner time. So we really wouldn't have to worry. We could pick up some stuff to make at home. So if we made something tomorrow to take with us, we'd only have to eat out one time.
Yeah, there you go.
That's probably the good way to do it, isn't it?
I think so.
I don't know. I'm trying to stick to this whole situation. What did you? Oh, I didn't tell you this. The reason I'm so concerned about this, Andy, and I'm bringing it up, is that yesterday I ate, my bars, and then I had not a light dinner, but it's kind of like a medium dinner. I walked 11 and a half miles yesterday, and I gained a pound.
Oh, 11.5 miles. That's a lot of walking.
It's a lot of walking, but I was told because I went to the doctor yesterday because I had a doctor's appointment. Anyway, Mom and I are getting the top of our head to the bottom of our feet kind of exams, making sure we're all really healthy and all the rest of it. Because your mom, I had that Mohs over here, and then she had a Mohs too, so we want to make sure that
Yep.
everybody's healthy and all the rest of it. But yeah, I think I just want to stay on this diet. Plus, in fact, I've been talking to people about how well Livia's worked for me. I lost 25, 26 pounds in the first 6 weeks, which is damn cool. But to walk 11 and a half miles and actually gain a pound, but the doctor told me what happens is once you get to that one part where your body hasn't been for a while,
Yeah.
your body goes, I'm going to hold on to every single thing you put in here.
That makes
And
sense.
then it absorbs water and it absorbs this and that and the other thing. So, in other words, if you have a couple of drinks or whatever, you're not going to end up peeing as much because your body wants to hold on to the fluid.
Yep.
They said that
Fluid
most of
retention's a
that
big
pound
thing.
that I put on was probably liquid.
Yep. That's how I am. If I eat out, I will gain 3 pounds in just water.
Well, there you go. I suppose that's probably true. I don't know.
Melissa says it's brownberry keto bread.
Brownberry keto. I'm going to have to pick up a loaf of it. We'll grill
right.
up a bunch of stuff tomorrow and then take it with us on the road. That'll be good.
Brownberry keto. How many calories are we looking at?
I like it, Andy, because the one thing I tried to talk myself into is like if we had that, like a turkey sandwich, and then get some low-cal chips. There aren't any low-cal chips.
No, there are not.
There's no such thing.
Closest thing
claim-
would be probably like pork rinds.
Yeah, probably true.
60 calories per slice.
That's a lot.
Yeah, well, it's bread. I mean,
That's how much bread has. Doesn't a piece of bread have like 70?
probably more for normal bread. Yes.
I don't know. So 2 pieces of bread be 120. Plus, that'd still only be a couple hundred calories, though.
Yeah, it's not that big of a deal.
So I could have 2 sandwiches, 400 calories for dinner. There's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, brownberry keto. That's what it is.
Brownberry keto bread. Yep.
All right, good. We're gonna get
They
this
seem to
taken.
like it. So
See, this is why I reach out to people on Facebook, on this show, and all the rest of it, because I don't want to blow it now. I'm more than halfway to my goal of 214 from 265, and I don't want to blow it on a 3-day drive home. Because you get bored sitting in the car. It's like, well, let's go get something to eat.
yes,
Like,
you do.
so I don't know. We'll figure it out. It'll all be fine. No question about it. So, from what I can tell, looking at the forecast, unfortunately, you guys you guys didn't have the tornadoes, but a lot of the Midwest did. Where were most of them?
Yeah. They have like a new tornado map apparently, or something like that Melissa was looking at, and yeah, apparently down south, like Rochester area, apparently they have a bunch.
Right. Yep, in Iowa, North Iowa, and
Yeah,
southern
Iowa,
Minnesota.
yeah.
It is that time of year, though, isn't it?
Yeah, we had a little bit of a storm, but it wasn't that big of a deal.
Oh, that's good.
Pretty
So, what's the forecast for the next 4 or 5 days? Because
looking good.
yeah, that's what I understand from everybody. You guys, matter of fact, Kathryn's brother Daryl called yesterday, and he said that this winter has been just spectacular.
Yeah. 70 and partly cloudy, 81 and mostly sunny.
Really?
Rain a bit on Friday, but yeah, no, we're definitely into spring now.
Okay, so Saturday, Sunday, what do they look like?
Saturday, Sunday looks 72 and sunny.
Really?
So hey, there you go.
You know what a treat that's going to be? Because I'll tell you what a treat 72 and sunny is going to be. Because I've been walking. I walk at least 8 miles a day. Yesterday I walked 11 and a half miles, and it was 93 with 95% humidity.
Yep.
It was so hot. If you didn't stay in the shadows or find a breezy spot, there is no way you could stay outside very long.
We'll get there in about 2 months here, but
Oh my God.
for
it gets
now,
hot
yeah.
down here.
Thankfully, not that yet.
Yeah, way too hot. I mean, look, I like heat, I like warmth, there's no question, but not at that level, man.
Hmm.
That's a very, very big deal.
I'm not a fan of heat myself.
Yeah, you've never been a big fan of heat, have you?
No, not really. Give me the
It all
cool.
works out. It all works out in the end, I guess. Right?
Yes, it does.
I don't understand this. France now has scratch and sniff postage stamps that smell like baguettes.
Why
How
not? I
often do you
suppose.
sit and smell a stamp?
Well, makes getting mail better, I suppose.
Yeah, but I don't understand. Oh, I don't smell my my
Well, you don't
mail.
you don't smell it because it doesn't smell like anything. Now it does.
Well, is that a good
Therefore,
idea? I don't know. No one sends letters in the mail anymore. It's still a fun novelty, though, but there's no shortage of more efficient ways of messaging someone. Maybe we'd all be more likely to mail things if postage stamps smelled like freshly baked bread. France has just released a new scratch and sniff stamp that smells like a baguette. The ink apparently has micro capsules that provide the scent. The stamp also has an image of a baguette decorated with red, white, and blue ribbon. It's celebrating Saint Honore, the patron saint of bakers and pastry chefs, and generally the baguette is a symbol of national pride in France.
well, they are good.
What? Oh, baguettes?
Yes.
Oh, you got that
Big
right there.
fan of baguettes.
There is no question about it. There is no doubt about it. But why would I care what my stamp smells like?
I, I don't know. Why not?
Well, I
Got nothing
suppose,
better to do.
yeah,
Make a scratch and sniff stamp. Scratch and
I
sniff was a
get.
huge thing when I was a kid.
Oh,
It kind
but
of
yeah, that's right. It was. You're
it
absolutely
kind of
right.
stopped being a thing. Let's see, the earliest, yeah, it looks like in the 70s it started being a thing, but yeah, yeah, when I was a kid was definitely the height of the scratch and sniff era.
Yeah, there's no question about that. Now, here's an interesting. I have not seen this. This was a big deal, and it was a big deal in radio. I remember back in the day, you would go through the five interesting random facts. They loved doing that kind of
I
stuff,
remember
right?
doing that on the podcast all the time.
Yeah, the five random facts.
Yep.
I haven't done it in a long time, so I figured, what the hell? Let's give it a whirl. Chicago has been the second or third most populated city in America since 1890, but that's on pace to change within the next 10 years. If the current trends continue, Houston will slide in to third behind New York City and Los Angeles. So Chicago is, but that doesn't mean Chicago's losing population. It just means that Houston's getting huge.
I don't know, is it though?
Chicago might be losing population.
A
That is
lot
a
of those areas
possibility.
are losing a lot of population. No one wants to live there anymore because
Well, they're too dangerous.
it's too dangerous, too expensive. There's no upside to it anymore.
You know what's so sad about that is, as you know, when you can remember when I was a little kid, I used to hop on an airplane because there was no, internet at that time. So I would have to fly to all the different cities to cut commercials. Fly to New York, fly to LA, a lot of times fly to Chicago because there are a lot of ad agencies. Like I was the voice of McDonald's for several years, and I would always fly to Chicago to cut those McDonald's commercials.
Hmm.
And I do remember I would go down there, fly into Chicago, wander all over downtown Chicago. You could walk around as much as you wanted. You could go wherever you wanted. Everything was just magnificent. I would never think of doing that now.
Well, as of 2022, Chicago's population is at a 30 something year low, at least 30 year. I can't go back before 1990.
At least a 30-year low.
At least a 30-year low,
So
yes.
people are just getting out of the city. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, the
That's
trend is
sad.
very obviously moving downwards.
See, that's so sad because Chicago was this magnificent. New York City, when your mom and I lived in New York City. Now, that was 38 years ago. Let's see, wait a second. You were born in 86,
Hmm.
right? Yeah, so it was, I mean, look at 38 years ago, right?
Yeah, it'll be 38 years in 5 months.
38 years ago, your mom and I wandered all over Manhattan, had a wonderful time. Nobody ever bothered us, great restaurants, the whole deal. Can't do that anymore.
Mm-mm.
You know this, there's a street, and I don't want to say the name of the street because it's very, very nice, but there's one street in West Palm Beach you don't want to walk down. There are great restaurants, it's a beautiful area, all the rest of it, but you will get hit on for money
Oh, I'm sure I
every
know
step of the way.
exactly what street you're talking about.
What letter does it start with?
Does it start with a C?
Maybe.
Hmm.
You're out. You
Yep.
can't walk 15 feet without somebody hitting you up for money.
Yeah, I know, it's pretty sad
Now, why do they allow that to happen?
because it doesn't affect the tourism industry. Apparently, they'll start caring once the tourism gets in, because West Palm Beach is a very tourist heavy city
Oh,
when it comes
God,
to
yes.
money.
Very,
When
very
people
heavy.
fly in, their hotel industry is, I'm sure, half of their economy at this point.
Probably
But
true,
I mean,
yeah.
people are still coming in because they don't really notice. But I don't know.
Yeah.
It's every year. It's just a little bit worse.
Seems like it, doesn't it?
Yep, unfortunately.
Hey, sir, could I just, I'm really starving and blah, blah,
Hmm.
blah, blah. Now, by the same token, let me say this. I was walking down Quadrille, which is just a block west of us where we
Yep.
live. And I'm walking back home for my walk. And this young man, well, I wasn't a young man, he's probably about your age, 38, 39, 40, something like that. So about a 40-year-old black man's walking toward me. You could tell by the way he was dressed, the way he comported himself, that he was way, way, way down on his luck. You could just, how you can tell,
Yeah.
right? He's walking along, and he's walking toward me. I'm walking toward him. And as he passes me, he looks at me and says, "Good morning." And I said, "Good morning, sir." About 2 seconds later, I hear him say behind me, now I can't see him because he's behind me, but I hear him say, "Thank you for calling me sir." And I
Well,
started tearing up. It was so sad.
that's nice.
Isn't that just sweet though? That what a sweet thing that I cared enough to call him sir. He had to make sure that I knew how much he appreciated that. And I've been talking to a lot of people like that. Andy, don't you think we need to get to a point? And I'll get back to this list, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. But we have got to start treating each other better than we do. It's
Yep.
just hideous.
Sure is.
I just don't understand because you and I don't agree. I'm not talking about Andy and I. I'm talking about two different people.
Hmm.
Because you and I don't agree on politics. You hate me? What? That's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous position to be in. You can't have everything you want. Stop being so incredibly selfish,
Yep.
right? All right. So yeah, the guy saying thank you for calling me sir. Honest to God, I felt it in my heart. It was like, oh God, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Very, very nice.
It is nice.
Okay, so here we go. Like I said, second or third most populated city. And you're going to have Houston, New York, and LA will be the top three. Chicago will drop down to 4. Number 2, the highest and lowest points in the continental United States are both in the same county. I didn't know that. Did you know that? The
Oh
highest
yeah,
and
it's
lowest points in the
Death
continent?
Valley, wherever Death Valley is, I think.
California.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like the county. It might be
Inyo,
Death Valley.
Inyo County.
Inyo. All right then.
Inyo. Inyo County, California has Mount Whitney and the Badwater Basin in Death Valley. That's what it's called, the
Hmm.
Badwater Basin. And they're less than 90 miles apart in the same county. That's pretty cool, actually.
We should put a zip line there.
Yeah, there you go. I like it.
90-mile zip line that goes however many thousands of feet.
I like it.
Mount Whitney, you said?
Mount Whitney, yep,
Mount
in
Whitney. How
California.
tall is Mount
Inyo.
Whitney? 14,000 feet.
Holy Hannah,
So
it's
there
that
you go.
big.
Yeah, it's like that would be like a 3-mile drop for a zip line. It's
Yeah,
pretty
that'd
good.
be a 3 mile drop. That'd be good, yes. But then how deep is the Badwater Basin? Because it'd
I,
be even further than three.
but I think it's like 100 below sea level or something like that.
So it'd be a 5 mile drop
Oh,
if you
never
could go.
mind. It is above sea level. Huh.
Oh,
Oh
it
wait,
is
no. Okay, the auto population thing. It's 282 feet below sea level.
below sea level.
Yeah.
So you got a grand total of 17,000 foot drop.
Yeah, it's a pretty big drop.
That'd be pretty cool though if you could do it.
It sure would.
I mean, I would do that. It's about a 90 mile ride. You just be just go dropping down. Well, you wouldn't drop down.
You wouldn't drop. I
You'd
mean,
slowly decline for 90 miles.
yeah, I mean, a 3-mile drop is a big drop, but over 90 miles is actually, it would be pretty gentle.
Yeah, it would be.
I wonder how long that would take. Like, how fast do zip lines go? I've never
I,
been on a zip line. I don't
no,
know
I
if
haven't
I'd ever
either.
want to.
I have never been on a zip line myself, but they got to be moving along at about what 40, 50 miles an hour, I would think.
Currently, average is about 30 miles an hour. So it would take 3 hours to do. You'd need some pretty good arm strength for that.
Well, no, you'd have to just they put them in a seat.
Well, yeah, but I mean, still, just sitting there for 3 hours. I don't know. It could
Oh,
be
that's
interesting
true.
depending on.
Yeah, it
But
might
then
be.
again, you'd be going from probably -40 to 120 degrees. So,
Okay, I want to know why this is true. We're at our third fact of the day. Pro athletes can write off any fines they get from their leagues as tax deductions. Why?
I bet they can.
I can, what you get fined and you get to write it off, so basically you and I are paying their fine.
Hmm.
What the hell is that?
They bring in so much money, they get no rules.
Once again, it's all about the money. It's all about how much money you make and the
Hmm.
money you bring in. They don't care about anything else.
Yep.
Number four, Meet the Parents was actually a remake of a small independent film from 1992 that was also called Meet the Parents. It had a similar plot, but very few people saw it when it was released. So Meet the Parents, that was is that who the hell was that? Robert De Niro, or is that a different film?
Yes, I believe
It
so.
was Robert De Niro.
And what's his name? Ben Stiller, I think.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's right. Isn't
Yes,
that Meet
Robert
the
De
Parents?
Niro and Ben Stiller.
Okay, so there you go.
Yeah, 1992. Huh.
Now that was the original one.
Yep, that is the original one. It also
So
had very small budget and wasn't released basically anywhere. So there's that.
so those
hundred
guys, even though
thousand
they're
dollar budget.
for those two stars.
No, this is the 1992 version. The
Oh,
92 version didn't star anyone.
okay, there you go.
It was produced by Emo Phillips, though.
Emo. God,
Mm-hmm.
I miss emo. What the hell ever happened to emo?
He's probably just like sick of it. I would be.
One of the greatest moments of my life, because emo used to put on a character
Yep.
whenever he came in to do interviews at KQRS. He would come in and emo played a character, which was very, very funny. But Gelfand drove him so insane that he literally broke down and started talking in his real voice.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Gelfand drove him nuts. It was phenomenal. Because Gelfand was a huge fan, but
Mm.
apparently emo got, I don't know what emo got so upset. But I haven't seen emo in years because of that. But I haven't seen his name pop up at all.
He doesn't really seem to do a whole lot anymore.
Not a lot. And number five, finally, the USDA regulates the fruit breakdown in fruit cocktail. It must be 30 to 50% diced peaches, 25 to 45% diced pears, 6 to 16% diced pineapple, 6 to 20 whole grapes, and 2 to 6% cherry halves.
Hmm.
A fruit cocktail's got cherry halves in it? I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, I feel like only the fancy ones do. Well,
Yeah,
maybe
that
that's
must be.
different now because the age you eat a lot of those tends to be rather young and rather old.
Yeah, I
So
suppose that's
it's
true.
been a while since I've been a big consumer of the fruit cocktail. But I remember when I was a kid, whenever it had the cherry halves in it, I was like, "Ooh, this is the good one."
The good one was cherry. Well, I did. Hey, I like cherries. No question about that.
Hmm.
They're good by cherries are good by me. That's all I'm saying. If you know what I'm. So okay, we're about 5 minutes away from the end of the show now. Anything you want to talk about on the way out in particular?
Anyone in the chat or anyone at home with the app want to put in a question? I can field those quickly.
There's nothing wrong with that
I haven't
idea.
been reading social media. I think it's mostly just like, I explained a lot on, was it the Tuesday before my surgery?
Oh, you did?
We did, yeah, Ralph and I did a show where it was just basically like the thyroid cancer hour. And then,
There you go.
yeah, I mean, I think I pretty much covered everything, it just is what it is. I guess I could talk about what life is like now that, thyroid's removed. I got the pill. Everyone knows that. But people are always like, oh, okay, so you're just going to, go in. The cancer's gone. The cancer's gone, right? But no.
Oh,
Every 6 months, basically for the rest of my life, I'm going to be going in for checks.
to make sure that cancer doesn't reappear.
Yep, exactly. Thyroid cancer almost always either comes back in the thyroid or it metastasizes to the lungs. So they know where to look
Oh,
good. But yeah, it's not one of those things where it's like you're cured. Although I think after maybe 10 years of remission, they declare it's like you're functionally cured. It's not going to come back. And if it does, it's not a big deal. But yeah, no, definitely a lot of monitoring for the rest of my life.
for the rest of your life.
Yeah, that's how cancer is, unfortunately.
But I suppose you're free and clear right now, so you got to be very happy about that.
Well, technically, I'm not free and clear yet.
Oh, you're not.
It won't be for another month or so because they haven't done the scans and everything.
Oh,
The surgeon says that he's pretty confident that it's all gone, but we won't know 100% for sure. But so far, aside from all the complications I've been having, all of the pathology reports and everything have been good.
I'm glad to hear that. So you and Gelfand and I will do the show tomorrow. Is that correct?
Yeah, I plan on it.
All righty. Well, have a great day. I'm glad to see you're back and healthy. And I cannot tell you how many people reached out to wish you well, Andy. There were thousands and thousands of people.
Yeah,
So it was
Melissa
very
was
nice.
keeping me up on that, which is always nice.
Oh, was she really?
Charlie wants to know if you have a route planned.
We're going to stay just outside of Atlanta on the first night. We're going to stay just outside of Chicago on the second night. And then we're going to drive home on Saturday. We should get home around 5 or 6 in the afternoon or evening, early evening on Saturday. Charlie, I'm glad you asked that, though, Charlie. I really am, because I read a story yesterday. They're thinking of closing Graceland to visitors. They're thinking about closing it down. And I've
Like
been
permanently?
by. And that's what they're talking about, because apparently they're deeply in debt.
Oh, there's a foreclosure auction.
When's the foreclosure auction?
Well, there was supposed to be one, but it was just halted by a judge apparently, like hours ago.
Oh, it was just hours ago now. So
Yes.
what did they have a new timing for it?
Apparently, because it's considered unique under Tennessee law, they're not allowed to sell it, more or less.
Oh,
So I
so
don't
they
know
can
if
keep it.
I don't know if the state's gonna buy it or how does this work, but yeah, they were like, no, you are not allowed to just sell this at a foreclosure because technically, if someone bought it, they could just tear it down.
Yeah, that's true. They don't want that happening in Memphis, do they?
So yeah, a judge said no, you're not allowed to sell it. So who knows what's going to happen? But I mean, Elvis is definitely not nearly as popular as he used to be. So.
Well, no, there's no question about that. But I mean, I've driven by Graceland many times. It's right off the freeway. Well, not that far. It's not right on the freeway, but it's not that far off it either. But I've driven by it many, many times. So I've seen it through the gates, but I've never been in. So I tried to talk your mom into going through Memphis, because you can go through Memphis, then up to St. Louis, then up to Minneapolis.
Right.
That's another route you can take. 35, I-35 is what you run into. But she had already gotten the hotels in just outside of Atlanta, just outside Chicago. So maybe on the way down next year, I can talk her into going to Graceland.
Oh, if it's still there.
Well, it'll still be there because he shut it down, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it could get reversed, or I mean, you don't know what they're going to do with it.
I
Just
want to
'cause it's
see
there
Graceland.
doesn't mean you can't go there too, because if it's shut down, if no one's working there, then what are you going to do?
Just break in.
I guess you could do one of those YouTube videos where you break in and go, oh, look how spooky this is.
Oh, I just got a message on my watch that said, Tom, you going to go look for the toilet where Elvis died?
I don't
He
think
died sitting on a toilet.
was
I
it
know
at
that.
Graceland?
Yep. He was reading the Bible on the toilet and he died.
Some light reading.
I guess so. Yeah, some light reading. Okay, I have one more question for you, Andrew, or our listeners as well.
Mm-hmm.
I have been averaging 8 to 11 miles a day walking, right around 8 most days, 11 and a half yesterday.
I have not.
But a problem has developed. My Apple Watch will not hold a charge anywhere near as long as it used to.
That's not uncommon.
So what do I need to get a new watch already?
Unfortunately, that's how it is. Yeah.
So I can't transfer the information either, because then that
Oh
watch
yeah, you
would-
can.
Oh, you can
It'll
anyway?
be synced up to your account and everything. But yeah, once those batteries, how old is it?
2 years maybe.
That's not that old, but
But I mean, that's a lot of mileage.
yeah, and those batteries are very small, and there's not a lot of like heat dissipation going. So I mean,
Right.
once those things start to go, there's nothing you can do about it. They're not designed to be user serviceable.
No, they're not. So basically, I had to, when I finished I walked 6 miles this morning, and toward the end of my walk this morning, after only about 5.25 miles, it said, your battery power is down to 10%. I mean, that's
Wow.
just after one walk.
Yeah, it's not great.
So I got to go get a new watch very soon, don't I?
Or just charge it more, I suppose.
I charge it overnight every night.
Yeah, but you might have to charge it during the day too now.
Well, that's what I did today. Is I recharged it while for the during the morning show. I put it back on the
Oh yeah.
charger, and it did not charge all the way. It charged to about 3/4 in an hour and a half.
Huh.
So I think the battery definitely is on its way out.
Must be, yeah.
Unfortunately for Tom. All right, Andrew, we'll talk to you right here tomorrow with
Yep.
Gelfand.
Yes, indeed.
All right, lovely to see you healthy and happy. We love you, you know that, and it's great to see you healthy again.
It's, yeah, definitely great to not be in a hospital anymore.
There you go. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Got a picture in my pocket reminds me of this was before. Every time I get to see it reminds me how you talking.